Hey guys, if you guys don't know, we're going to be doing a special show. We're going to have ESGN Overtime episode 3. We're also going to have, there should be audio now, right? You guys should be good. Yeah. I see the audio going through. Yeah. You guys can hear me now? I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Is everything good? Oh, you hear you? Thank you. All right, guys, listen, you know me, Mute Gang. Shout out to Harris Rubenstein, the guy who's the king of Mute Gang. So we're going to be doing a special show tonight. We're going to be interviewing my guy, Breaker the Beast. I'm going to be kind of talking about some things with him. Champ Harris Joe and Yay. Yep, we're going to have ESGN Overtime Episode 3 after this Breaker the Beast interview. All-star cast of content. Oh, yeah, you know me. You know how I do it. But we have a very special show tonight. We're going to be interviewing Breaker. I'll make sure that gets posted to YouTube. We started a new thing called Champ Talk, where I'm going to bring in prospects, and we're just going to have a conversation about, all right, why this person wants to get drafted. Maybe throw some tough questions at them. Yeah, hashtag draft Breaker, man. I think Breaker, like from my visual, I think that he's a very good point guard. Very underrated. I think it's hard being overseas to get a lot of recognition. Obviously, he wanted to go to Vegas from what he told me, so it was one of those goals that he wanted to get to Vegas. Unfortunately, with COVID, it did not work out. Bring you on next. I mean, listen, later on in the show, if you want to come on, Kings, let me know. I'll do, like I said, Champ Talk is meant for everybody. We have a full stream tonight. I'm gonna do this Breaker interview. I'm gonna do ESGN Overtime, catching up on daily promo news while I'm doing cardio. Well, you got to run harder, okay? Listen, I need you to be lifting those 200-pound dumbbells by the time I'm done with this episode, all right? So, anyway, like I said, we're going to talk about a couple topics tonight on ESGN Overtime. We're going to be talking about with the whole first round situation for the Hornets, how they got their first round. And we're going to talk to some of the top analysts, and their thoughts on that. We're also going to talk about just GM hot seat, maybe some trades in the offseason, just kicking it with the boys. But anyway, I'm actually going to transition over here into the interview with my guy Breaker, because I really want to talk to him. Breaker's somebody who I think deserves a lot of recognition. So I'm actually going to make sure. Breaker, can you do me a favor? Can you hear me? Oh, wait, hang on. Breaker, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, hang on, guys. Let's actually pull up Breaker's social media. So if you guys don't know, Breaker's obviously a guy who has been a prospect in the community. I really feel like you've really upped your draft stock this past year. A lot of people, I hear a lot of GMs talk about you. Like they were asking where you were in Vegas. Like I actually had some GMs ask if you were in Vegas, which I mean, I think that's awesome for you to get that recognition. Even if it wasn't intentional, that just shows how good you've done of marketing yourself and just leaving an impression on people. So I think that's something that you can really tip your cap off to. But I have a couple questions for you tonight. Obviously, one, tell the people, obviously where you're from, what position you play, what team you're playing, and maybe, what teams you're going to, play, leading up to the draft. Because I know you mentioned that you're playing with a current pro-am roster right now.
Yeah, so I'm Breaker. I'm from France. I'm playing on European server. I got 22 years old. By the way, today is my birthday, so
it's your birthday.
Cool.
What?
Yeah,
what? Oh shit, bro! Happy birthday, bro! Oh,
thanks,
man. That's
Thanks.
crazy. What are the chances, bro? That's crazy. It's awesome, bro.
So, like I said, I'm from France, and I wish making the 2K League one day. So that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell me, you talked about your basically plan to you were going to come to Vegas and you really wanted to do it, but unfortunately, obviously with the whole code restrictions, it kind of made it tough for you. What do you think? Obviously, I know moving forward, I think we're going to have more of an opportunity for you to showcase yourself. But if the UPA is the host of the tournament, and I don't know if you get drafted this year, but if the UPA was the host of the tournament in the post draft. Would you be involved in that tournament? Would you make sure that you're playing in that tournament, or like what is your current situation on that? Like I'm kind of curious what your goals are with that.
Mm, if there is a next tournament like Vegas, I will be here. Like I will do everything possible to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But this year I couldn't cause of COVID, like you said. So
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty hard for us French player. Cause in France at the moment of this Vegas tournament, there was like 40k, 40k. Nah, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
There there was like 500k case of COVID in France.
Really? Wow. That's crazy. But
Sorry, it's hard to count
mm-hmm.
in another language. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy. You know, me being a healthcare worker, I work in the hospital, and I know this experience with how COVID's going right now. We've definitely come a long way for COVID, but we're not quite out of the, we're not quite out of it. But, I do hope that for you, like, I hope that a team is considering, maybe taking a chance. I know it's harder with, you being overseas right now, and you having that delay when you play, because like the biggest thing in Vegas was like a lot of our West Coast guys, they're always on delay. It's not like your delay, obviously your delay is a lot different, but that West Coast, a lot of West Coast guys, they finally got a chance to play in person. But I think that for you, getting out to the United States and playing at one of these events, and if you perform, it completely changes the outlook. And we're waiting for that breakthrough player. Ironic your name's Breaker, but we're looking for that breakthrough player that's really going to kind of elevate the international scene. Obviously, Mario is currently the only international player. That is the only international organization as well. But what would be your like? So for you coming into the 2K League, you obviously would have to adjust to a lot of things. Like I actually, your English is pretty good. I know you said that it's a little rough, but you actually your English is pretty good. Like I remember when I talked to Mario, and like I was just amazed that he learned the entire English. He actually learned the English language for the 2K League. I think he told me. So like, are you like like when did you start learning the English language? Because I think you're actually pretty good at it from what what I'm
mm,
hearing.
I started learning the English. Um, First time I was learning the English was in like 2 years.
Hmm.
It was 2 years ago. Like, cause that's the first time where I was in draft pool on 2K20.
Hmm.
So I needed to learn the English quickly because of the team interviews, etc. I needed to be prepared. So
Oh,
the first time where I learned the English was on 2K20
that's
2 years
good.
ago.
That's good. No, that's awesome. But so for you, what do you think has led to you? Like, I think you've had a very successful pre-draft this year, because like I've seen you a lot, and I've seen you like progress, and your name has really been pushed out there a lot, and a lot of people are saying like he is the real deal. Like, what has led to that success? Like, is there any advice you could give to other people? Because I think like personally, like you have a lot more eyes on you than you think. So like, what do you think has led to your success for you to like get to this point? And I know obviously like the ultimate thing is getting drafted. Obviously that would be great, but what do you think has really helped you kind of like get out there and get your name
Mhm.
out there?
Um, I think it's the communication on social networks, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is the the streaming too, because I'm streaming a lot of com game on East with some different people, so and different teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the, every team has like a fan base, you know.
Yep.
So every time I'm joining a team, they are they are fast based. My bad.
Okay.
They then their fan base just support me. So I think it's a good way to get some
Mm-hmm.
recognition.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
No,
Damn, I have a
hey,
bad accent, man.
no, dude, don't worry about it. Trust, don't listen. Don't even stress about it. That's fine. So I have one. Like obviously, I kind of asked you this before, but why are you going for the NBA 2K League? Like, what's making you like really want to like make this a reality? Like, why do you want to be a part of the 2K League?
Mm, it's because I'm really dedicated for this game. Like I left the school because of some
Mm-hmm.
harassment problem in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was lonely, and my mom was already was here every time for me. So she
Mm-hmm.
was the only one person who was here for me, and I want to give her a better life. So the 2K League is something that I can get. I know it because I'm an hard worker and I'm working on my game every day. So I really want to be in the league for help my family, make my mom proud,
Mm-hmm.
make my friends proud, and be be an example for French people. Like, because if I'm drafted, I will be the first French player of the history of the 2K League. You know.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like it's always awesome being the first to be something. Um, my question, I actually have another question. So, do you have any background of sports? And like obviously you like 2K, but like, what kind of sport? Do you have any type of sports background in it at all? Like, did you play any sports growing up?
Yeah,
What kind of?
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was a basketball player before 2K, but I enjoyed myself, so
Mm-hmm.
I stopped it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. I feel like one thing that's really been successful for a lot of people in the 2K League is having that sports background. So it's definitely something that like I'm interested in, obviously, you having that background. That does matter, whether people know it or not. Um, I need to know this because like this is a really, really important question. If you get to the 2K, let's say that, you get to the 2K League draft, your name's not called. How is this going to impact you? Like, what are your, like, are you going to keep playing post draft? Are you going to take a little break and then try to come back in the next 2K? Because I know a lot of guys do that. Like, what is your, like, essentially, like, if this dream doesn't work out yet, what's going to happen, for you? Because I see a lot of guys, they just get discouraged and they give up. But, like, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna keep playing.
Hmm.
Like, n- I'm in an optic where I don't have to give up. You know,
Hmm.
um, I can't give up. Like, it's more a goal than dream. So I will work for it, and like if it's not this year, it will be next year. You know.
Yeah, no, I think that for you, your time can come if you just keep building up. Like, I think you could, you've like really earned the respect of a lot of people this year. So I think in the coming years, there's definitely a possibility that you can get in. Obviously, I've talked to a lot of, players in the league and some coaches and GMs. They know about you. The fact that they recognize you and they know who you are is already, you're already in a step of the right direction. But I don't want to hold you up too long, Breaker, because I know it's 2 o'clock your time. But I just want to say to you, just like for my closing remarks, this interview. One, obviously, happy birthday, man. So did you just turn?
Thanks, bro.
Did you just turn 22? Or is it
Yeah.
awesome, man? Dude, I remember when I was 22. I'm 25 now, but like I said, happy birthday to you, man. I think that you really are an awesome, you're a really awesome point guard. I think that you seem like a really nice guy too. I think that's something that a lot of, organizations, hopefully some teams will shoot you some interviews to try to learn more about you because, I think that there's a lot more to you, obviously, than what I can discover about you in 15 minutes. But I appreciate you coming on the broadcast so late and so last minute notice. But like I said, for everybody in the stream, this is Champ Talk. I've been trying to do, like this is the first time. Breaker's the first person for Champ Talk, so we kind of got to know some things about Breaker. Like I said, I'm happy that we got to talk. I wish the best for you. Any closing remarks you want to say before we end this interview?
Um, I just have a word for all the coach and the GMs. It's ju- ju- you need to trust me because I proved like 100 times that I can communicate with some people on any server, etc. I know a lot of coaches are afraid of giving me a chance because I have this language barrier. You know, English is not my primary language, but
Mm-hmm.
you can trust me. Like I provide the combine and on his server that I can talk, I can communicate. So I'm here for interviews, etc.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that at the end of the day, you don't need you're gonna talk with your 2K skills. You're gonna kick ass on the court, and I think that's gonna trump everything. So again, Breaker, best of luck to you, man. Keep grinding, keep working. The draft is February 26th. You got 24 days, man. 24 days. Put in the most work, like I said, and I wish the best for you, man. I hope you get drafted. I'd love to see you, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks, chat, for watching.
Of course, appreciate it. Anyway, guys, we're gonna actually I'm gonna transition over to the ESGN overtime. I'm gonna get my guys in here. I already got Harris and Breaker, but again, Breaker, have a good night. Happy birthday, man. Try not to party too hard.
Thanks, man. Have a good stream, bro.
Thank you. All right, let's get these guys in here. Oh my gosh, look at them. Look at them. They don't even know they're in here yet. They don't even know. They don't even know. They don't even know they're in here.
Oh no, we knew.
What happened?
Just like, dang, bro, you're not gonna give
What's
us
going
early.
on?
Like, hey, how's it going?
Hey,
We don't have
already
to be
live
on
on
camera
stream.
for this, do we?
No, you don't have to be on camera. I'm not gonna make you.
Oh,
Man, yo, champ.
thank Christ.
I listen. What do you? I mean, listen. I figured Harris doesn't have his pretty, beautiful, makeup on, all that stuff. He's in his boxers right now, whatever.
I am not in my boxers. I am in a sweatshirt and sweatpants.
Huh.
If you were interested, I am wearing a Pac-Man sweatshirt.
I feel like Joe got all, he got all dressed up.
Yeah.
Joe is in a suit, actually.
Bro, you always come on. Look, just
No,
call me Jonah. We out here. We outside.
No way.
No.
No way. There's no way you're in a suit.
Hell no, champ. Yo, you act like I like you like that. You're not. Come on, it's ESGN.
I only call you when it's hot
let me stop.
outside.
So, guys, you guys have been on ESGN overtime before. We've done this where we do these.
Never.
Yes, you have.
I've never been on this channel before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Overtime.
I don't appreciate you assuming things about me, champ. You know what they say about assuming, right?
Yeah, you make an ass out of you and me.
There you go. Too
There
late.
you go.
Look at Yay. Fashionably late.
You missed it by like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I want to talk about some topics tonight, guys, because this is obviously, there's a lot of things that we can talk about, and we'll try not to, the point of this is just so we don't get off into any tangents and get lost in the sauce. So for 15-minute arguments, we're going to be talking about topics. The first topic is basically what GM is under the most pressure, basically. You could say I don't like using the hot seat anymore. I don't think anyone's under the hot seat, but what GM is under the most pressure coming into this draft? Obviously, there's a lot that rides on this draft for some teams. This is, for some teams, they haven't been good in a long time. But I want to start off with Harris, and we'll kind of transition over.
Oh,
yeah. I'm going to the GOAT himself, Harris Rubenstein. But,
okay.
So Harris, what GM do you feel, or even coach, do you feel in this draft they need to hit this draft? This is just the most pressure for them to do well in this draft this year.
Well, I think the other two co-hosts will agree with me. I think the GM of the ESGN team is under a lot of pressure, especially after their performance in UPA Las Vegas. It just need a little bit more support there.
Ay.
No, I'm kidding. The real answer is it's famous. It's famous in the Heat, right? At some point, I know the season 1 finals was great, but we gotta make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got 2 first-round picks. You got Zeus, everybody's favorite shooting guard. So, let's see a playoff appearance. The East is wide open.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the idea that like again, Famous. Obviously, the expectations have always been high for Famous in the league. Someone who hasn't really had much success since season one. But I do agree with that. What about you, Joe? What do you think?
All right, so I think the Famous pick is a solid one. I'm going to throw a different one out there. Another person who has 2 first-round picks this year. I'm going to go with Jonah with the Magic. You have someone who has not made the playoffs in all of his seasons in the 2K League, and that's with the Mavs as well as with the Magic. He always brought in a lot of talent, but unfortunately they were just not able to really bring it together. Now, of course, you wind up trading Reed. He's no longer with the team. You only have May and Snubby. You wind up letting DT walk in free agency or through whatever you want to call it. So now he has to find his point guard. He has to find his, if you want to move Snubby to lock, whatever they want to do. But they need to make sure they make some sort of headway. They're always I would say they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. They're so close to making the playoffs every year, but they just can't quite get past that hump. So I think the pressure's on him to finally surpass their limits and make the playoffs. So I'm going with the Magic.
That's fair. Yay. Who do you think?
Joe took my answer, man. I was going to go with Jonah on that one, but for the sake of being different, I think one person that's kind of flying under the radar in terms of pressure is got to be Rico over there at Boston.
Really?
The last couple seasons is not so great. They came in with what 3 or 4 first round picks last season. Ended up being 10-10, playing better than we thought they would, but we haven't seen a playoff appearance from them from season 1 from the Fab, and then leaving Fab and coming with FT, and putting Fab in the past and still not being able to get to the playoffs. I think he's in a good spot because of the way he was in the organization, but I think after a while they're going to want to see some winning coming out of them in a team he formulates.
Very interesting. So the 3 coaches that you guys think are under the most pressure at this point is Famous, Jonah, and Rico.
Well, it depends on what you classify as pressure.
Pressure, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, are we talking like
think
real
about
like
job
job
a lot.
pressure? Or are we talking like Twitter pressure?
I mean, make it of what you want. I mean, I think that it's really just like performance based. Like a team that needs to perform this year, a GM that needs to have a good report card, or coach. Like that's basically.
I'll argue. I think all of them. I know that's kind of weird to say, but like, I don't think there's a coach in the league outside of like Pat and Comp, and obviously the Warriors guys that you would probably say is like not under some sort of pressure. Like a lot of GMs have made moves this offseason. Like even Jeff, who's in the chat, it's like Jeff made a lot of moves this offseason, and like if it doesn't work out, it's on him.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Nacho's under no pressure. Whatever happens to the Lakers this year, I don't really want to like put on him, mostly because like he didn't really put this team together. They just kind of put the team together and then gave it to him, which is very unique.
Yeah, as long as they're not pulling the Browns or something like that and trying to pay him to lose,
I mean,
Oh my God.
we don't not know that.
That Lakers team looks solid on paper, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you guys all bring up valid people. My choice is actually going to be the guys with the number 1 pick, and that's LT. He can't, when you have the number 1 pick, an organization that has now had the number 1 pick 2 times in history, it's really big for them to perform. Like they need to make sure that, they hit on this pick. So I think that for LT, in my opinion, I think he's under the most pressure just because like, you can't he has to make he could make a trade for the number 1 pick because I've been hearing rumors that they might trade away the number 1 pick, and that's even crazier, right? Because if you're trading away the number 1 pick, you got to get something good out of it. So it's like, for me, I just think that LT needs again, they have an off year last year. He did make playoffs 2 times out of his 3 years, but I just think that for him, it's really important that he progresses, because the Mavs, they always have these good regular seasons. Last year they didn't, but they need to get over that hump. They need to get better because they want to win. It's a Mark Cuban wants to win. You know what I mean? That's a winning organization. They want to win. But I think, in my opinion, I think LT's under the most pressure. I mean, again, out of all your guys' choices, I think the one that like I agree the most with is either probably going to be Famous or Jonah. I don't know about Rico. Like I don't think Rico is at like is like on the same level as like Jonah and Famous when it comes to pressure, because I think like they like I don't know, like it's definitely been like, you know, it was a solid year last year for the Celtics. Like I don't think the Celtics were that far off. Like Jonah just has never, you know, made playoffs. So like that's the biggest thing. Like he's got to make something shake. But all good choices. Like I said, I think that, you know, I don't think that any of the choices are bad. But the next topic we're actually going to talk about, because we're going to move on to the next topic, is talking about the Hornets getting their first round pick back. So if you guys don't know, Hornets VenomGt actually got their first round pick. I want to get your guys' initial thoughts, raw, uncut thoughts. Yay, I'll go to you first because we started with Harris last time. So, like, what are your thoughts on the Hornets getting their first round pick back?
It kind of sucks for some of the teams that kind of had suspended players, but I think it makes a lot of sense because the pick that they used to retain their guys, they had to give them a first. So when they announced their retirement, I think it's only right that you kind of give it back to them. I mean, I think it's clear cut as that. I think shouldn't make it more of a scandal than what it is. They used the first pick to retain their guys. Two of them left. I think it's only right to give them back. They weren't suspended. They just made a executive decision.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Harris, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a bit outrageous.
Really?
But I understand why they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Just bad timing, you know? But it's better because I don't think you could have ever seen the retirements like coming like this in kind of the way that they have after like people have been retained, like, you know, we're this close to the draft. Like I think for the league, it's kind of one of those things where in the future, they definitely shouldn't wait until this part of the timeline to make decisions like this. I think it's better for the future, the league, that we're learning how to make decisions on stuff like this right now. So this is just kind of like one of those, like, you know, tough moments where you just kind of have to, you know, just grin and bear it. But it's not surprising that they got their picks back. I think if the rule was already there where it's like, hey, if you retain a player and then they retire, you get your pick back. I think that is a totally fair rule. It's just a bit outrageous that they did it a month from the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Like you definitely took a starting point guard away of one of the Pacers or the Wizards. Like that's the other thing. Like that's a really big pick. Like that's not just like a team who's gonna pick up like a power forward or something. Like that's a big pick. That's a starting point guard in this league. That's like a potentially league changing rule that you're putting in, that you're enforcing. That's the wrong word. You're basically applying. There's a better word. Applying 24 days before the draft. So I think if this rule is in place and we are in the future and they waited this long, it'd be a little bit more ridiculous. But I think the fact that the rule is now in place is better for the overall future of the league.
Yeah, I agree. Like I definitely think that for a lot of these, you know, GMs, it's gonna suck because it changes the whole draft. Like, obviously, I know, like, you'll probably, you won't do as many mock drafts as me. I know, I do like a million fucking mock drafts, and you guys.
It's not public.
Yeah, I do at least one mock a day. I kind of, when I'm bored, I'll just like load up the sheet and just click through some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like for me, I mean, shoot, I've done so many mocks this year. It's insane.
I suppose. No, because I guess again, you could never really see something like this happening. Like, and the fact that two of them happened on the same team is also crazy. Well, I guess, did Pete retire before he got retained?
3. No, Pete got retained.
Oh yeah, you're right, 3, because Trap also. Yeah, it's just kind of like, as a league, you always want to be ready for everything, but there's also just stuff you can't really be ready for, and I guess you just kind of have to adjust on the fly to.
Yeah.
So maybe the fact that they took so long was just more of a statement of like they really put some thought and time into it and didn't just make like an offhand decision. So yeah, I guess I respect it more from that front too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Joe, what are your thoughts on this whole situation? I know Harris kind of, brought up a lot of good points. Like, if you're a GM in this situation and you just watch the Wizards jump in front of you, I mean, not the Wizards, the Hornets jump in front of you. What would be your thoughts? Like, are we calling Brad? Are we getting on the phone with Brad?
Well, I mean, of course, we saw a couple people on the timeline expressing their, frustrations as we had the Hornets celebrating their success, as people see here. It does suck because now you have teams who've been preparing since, the picks as it's been with 20, like what is it, 22 first or 21 first round picks. Now it's, oh crap, we have this additional one, and now the fallout pushes everything back. So a lot of these mock drafts that people have done in the past, they're kind of useless. So it definitely it sucks for them because they probably had a lot of work, or if they had like a deal in place to be able to move up. Now, are they backing out of deals because now, okay, there's another person here? Are we able to really do this? We know that this point guard class isn't extremely deep. It's very top heavy. There's some really good potential in the middle, but you feel bad for people such as the Nets who now, okay, great, we have one less point guard that we have the option of getting. So it's a lot of hit or miss. I'm happy that at least they were able to do that because it was unforeseen circumstance. You didn't know that this player was gonna, you didn't know Trap was gonna retire. So them getting a pick back that they would have already had is perfectly fine. It would have sucked if they were like, all right, well, Sherm can come back, and now they get their first round pick. Then,
Oh my god! Imagine if Sherm came out of retirement and they got him back.
That'd be wild. But
It's funny. They technically, based off this rule, they actually got 2 picks back. It's just one of them is technically one they already had in pick 48. But yeah, so they technically got 2 picks back in this whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting. It's definitely an interesting situation to say the least. We'll find out. I mean, at the end of the day, now it's about now the fact that they got this pick back. Does it put more pressure on West to actually make a good pick here because now he's got that pick back. You know what I mean? Like he's got
not the pressure is on because he doesn't have Nacho there anymore. So like. Look, I'm just saying, we knew like Nacho had to put West in a backpack a little bit, and that's why Hollywood not know.
Hey,
that
boy, India had some of them picks too.
Hey, but India is the part of the broadcast this year. So but luckily you do have amazing assets in Coach King, in Crown, in Rigby, who really know this year's draft class. So I think he'll be fine. But I definitely think losing someone like a Nacho really does hurt that team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that it's definitely gonna be an interesting year for West to kind of show he's there by himself. You know what I mean? Like I know he has Coach Jet. He has who is it? Coach V? I can't remember who he has.
Coach King.
Coach King. That's what he has.
Come on, get the name right, bro. Get the name right. Coach King deserves the respect. He deserves respect.
Okay, listen. Maybe there shouldn't be 10 people with the name Coach. That's where we should start.
I'm sorry, we're in an esport about basketball. Of course, people are gonna name themselves Coach. Coach Champ.
Yeah, is my thing Coach Champ? No, it's Champ. Is your thing Coach Joe? No, your thing is TheeJoeVegas. I don't think I see Coach Ye yet. I don't see his name is Coach Ye.
Wait, are you claiming? Are you claiming that Coach King is not actually Coach King and that his name is instead just King?
Yeah, I mean that sounds better.
But they already have a king.
Yeah,
Kingsley, Crown. They're like, come on. There's two.
Well, I don't know about Kingsley or any of that. I just feel like I've never actually called Coach King anything else but Coach King. So I feel like just randomly changing his name all of a sudden to King is a bit strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you messing up this man's branding. Come on, Jay.
Yeah, I'm a strike that one down. That one's been struck.
Anyway, listen, this show is not about me. All right, guys, it's about obviously the community. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the what do you call it? The Lakers trade earlier in the offseason. Obviously, Reg got traded to Lakers Gaming. And also,
Champ's gonna make me talk about the Lakers. Champ, I thought we had a rule about this.
No, but basically, this topic is like which trade do you feel was better? Which team had the more beneficial, in this offseason to a trade. So Lakers traded for the fourth. They traded away the fourth overall to bring in Reg, and then Blazer 5 basically traded away Bash to get the fifth overall. Which team do you guys think is going to benefit more? I'll start with Ye again because I know Harris needs a lot of time to think about this with the Lakers.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was like looking at my phone.
So we have two different trades going on. Here at with Reg getting traded to the Bucks, and then you have Bash when he was traded to Ducks Gaming. Which trade do you think is going to have a deeper impact for like a team? Like which team is going to be more successful based off of the trade they made? Like which team basically made the best deal this offseason?
I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Lakers. I think this totally transformed that roster. Like we were saying before, that on paper, Lakers look really good. I was keeping Reese over there and Crazy. I think Crazy's going to come into his own, depending on where they place him, whether it's lock or the 4 or the 5. I think he's going to have a decent season. And I want to say they don't have a first round pick, so they second? I want to say second round pick.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, even no matter what pick what they have in this class, I think they're going to be shopping around for a role guy, and with those pieces around them, I think they're going to be solid. So, and with Ducks Gaming, bringing Bash, I think is a huge piece in that. But we still don't know how good Mario's going to be. I think Killy's solid, but Killy he's good, but like can he be like really good to make that team a playoff team? I don't know. So I'm just going to have to go with Reg.
I mean, but a lot of people thought Bash wasn't going to be like they thought the Blazers weren't going to be like crazy. Like I mean, again, obviously, me and Harris were the main people who had our thoughts about the Blazers, but like we thought the Blazers were solid.
Team slipped in. That Blazers team slipped in through the ticket. They weren't that crazy. We all knew that team was going to come down to how good Bash was going to be, but it ended up being the other way around. Bash was solid all year, and it was just like a couple of other guys were kind of slacking. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I think everybody was in. Nobody said that team was going to be like a superstar team, and they weren't going to be bad, and it just kind of slipped in through the ticket. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think any Bash team has a chance, but I was like, I don't know. It's too tough to tell with those other pieces they have there. I know Beezus is going to do Beezus things, but Mario, Gilly, I don't know.
Whoa, hold on, pause. We have to take into account though, like all. I guess personality things, like off the court issues aside, backcourt wise, automatically Killy and Bash become arguably a top 10 backcourt in this league. They are going to get buckets, and they are two people who, they're hyper aggressive on defense, so they're going to try and get stops. They're going to be able to do things. So we have to give this team more respect. Yeah, the X factor is Mario. You're 100% right. It's definitely Mario. But we think about this game, depending on how the builds are, if it's similar to retail, power forwards playing PNR, so thus Beezus is going to have more of he's going to have more of an impact on this team defensively. And you have Mario swinging out the corner to really help on that stuff. It's really going to be up to the lock that they draft and pretty much Mario to come into their own because they're going to be able to get buckets. The guards are going to be able to score. It's just about getting stops to be able to win the game.
That's fair. So, who would you say? So, who is your team? Like, which trade do you think is going to be more beneficial than Joe?
It's difficult. I mean, both teams they needed a point guard. They solved both issues. The Lakers they gave up less because you have to think the Bash trade. It's not only they gave up their 5th overall pick with that first round pick, but they also dropped 8 spots in the second round.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I mean, I agree. I definitely think there was a little more involved in that trade. I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world that the second round picks were given, but I think that Bash is more likely to be an MVP candidate than obviously his season last year was tremendous. Like, it was great. But he did have a good defense. But I feel like the thing that always Bash always gets discredited for the teams he's on. Like, everyone's always trying to give credit to other people. Like when he was on the Kings, everyone's like, "Oh, he got carried by that team." Right?
There are a lot worse guards in this league than Bash. Let's make that very clear.
Great guard. He pro-aided the hell out of season 3 though. Come on, let's be real.
What guard didn't?
Yes and no.
So, but no, he scored. He did his thing. of course, he had some sort of liabilities, especially on defense, where, late in the shot clock, he's trying to be a little bit aggressive, trying to pinch too much, and winds up getting dotted on his hash, especially this past year. But those are little things that you can fix. Mm-hmm. But you'd like that aggressiveness. He was one of the guards that was ranked up top with steals per game and, just being able to be a pest. So it's really a coaching thing. It's going to be whoever is going to buy into the system, because we have two very high volume guards in Reg and Bash, but it's going to be about who's going to buy into the system. Reese he's more likely to not have to worry about a volume share compared to Bash with Killy. So these are questions you're really going to have to start thinking about.
Well, that's fair. Harris, you're the last person on this topic. I want to know.
Am I allowed to say a different trade?
I mean, we were comparing two trades. I mean, listen, if you want to be unique, Harris, go ahead. What trade are you thinking about, Harris?
How about you do both, bro?
Okay, I'll do both. We'll start with which one of these trades is better, and then I'll say which one's even better than that. These two trades are good. I think the Dukes getting Bash trade is good. It's great for the Blazers. It's great for Dukes. It's great all around. I think the Reg and the Reg trade, the only difference is that, like, I just think there's a higher probability of failure with the Lakers than there probably is with Dukes this year. Even with Nacho, I don't know, man. I'm just not going to trust Lakers gaming until they prove it, which I think they could.
At some point, Nacho.
We just got to see. Let's see it, right? That's all I keep saying about the Lakers. Is right. It's like, all right, flashy moves. Like let's see it. They went 3-25 last year. We literally are not allowed to give them any off-season flowers. Let's see them win some games.
I mean, do we give them flowers for getting 1 of 3 wins?
I will give them flowers if they get 500 next year.
Interesting.
Come on. Right? Like, we can do that. We can get to 500. We can do that. Like, that's possible with the roster they have. Definitely possible. Some people are talking about them going to the playoffs. Let's get to 500.
I'm just saying, Nacho is the king of keeping expectations low on everything. So he's loving this right now, keeping the expectations low. Mm-hmm. So when they surpass and exceed expectations, it's like, well, look. You didn't think it was.
Bro, if they win games this year, win games, I'll be impressed. The trade that is better than both of these trades is the hotshot trade. You see, here's the thing, right? A lot of the guys who've been traded this offseason, some of them aren't coming off of a very good season, all right? Hotshot is coming off one of the best seasons of his career, including leading his entire position in scoring. He is the best offensive center in the league. He has been dominant offensively the past 2 to 3 seasons. And if they're able to get a legitimately good defense around him, I mean, look, the East is wide the fuck open. It's completely open. Who knows what's going to happen with the Wiz with their new guard? That might take them a little bit to figure out. Who knows what's going to happen with the Hornets? The Nets got blown to smithereens. Walnut is off the Sixers. Who the heck knows what's happening with the Grizz? The whole conference is open. So if you're the Hawks, making a move for Hotshot when you have C's playing the way he is, I mean, they get a good 2 guard and they get a good power forward at the top of the second round, and that's a playoff team. You got Myello coaching them up. That hotshot trade is nobody's really talked about it because it happened so early in the process, but I promise you that's going to change so much about that conference this year. Season hotshot is a legitimate top 5 point guard center duo in the league.
So it is,
and those duos, by the way, always make the playoffs. That is that always happens. If you have an elite point guard with an elite center, they just always make the playoffs. Even the Pistons last year,
I don't know.
They made the playoffs. Well, at least last year it was Yusuf and Majestic are fine. This year if they don't make it, it's a little bit different. I don't know if I'd call the combination of Yusuf and Majestic elite.
I mean, Yusuf was, going into last season, he was what?
Yeah, at power forward. He's at power forward. We were saying they were going to make the title because they just got Mama and they had Crush, but I mean, Yusuf is a really good defensive player, but I feel like there's a difference in between what we get out of Yusuf in terms of a quote-unquote elite center and what we get out of Hotshot.
I agree. The biggest worry, I mean, if we're going to talk about the Heat, the Hotshot trade, yeah, offense is fine and dandy, but somebody is going to have to play defense. Somebody's going to have to get a stop. And when you
Are they to make the playoffs? Are they going to have to play defense? Are we sure?
We have to remember it's not just like regular season anymore. It's tournament play.
Yeah, but you can make a run in any tournament with a great offense.
Yes, but you need defense. We saw exactly what that was going on in the playoffs this year, where teams start to slow you down a little bit. You're not able to play at the same speed that you played at in the past. So there's a lot that's going on. It's just
I don't know.
Can Mike Swan and Hotshot and whoever the power forward they pick up be able to get enough stops to help them? Because Caesar's going to need help. Hotshot's going to need help.
We watched an entire season of Nets GC not be able to get any stops all year long.
My God.
Same with Grizz Game. Well, no, Grizz Gaming's defense was good. They couldn't get a bucket for the whole second half of the year. But I don't know, man. I'm very confident that the Hawks can at least figure out how to do what the Nets did last year with Season Hotshot. Season Hotshot, I think, can do what Shots and Chalk did last year.
So are we?
Like, I think we could definitely see like some sort of MVP kind of season from C's if everything goes well. Hotshot is a great combination for him.
So what would be like the over/under for the not over/under, but what would be the odds for them making playoffs? Like, if you were to like think of Vegas odds, like what are the odds?
They're probably not a favorite. I would probably put them in the bubble teams category. I would probably give it like plus 210.
Plus 210.
I'd say for the Hawks to make the playoffs.
Not bad.
Do you like that, Joe? Is that a fair number? Plus 210?
I'm not gonna lie, I do not understand betting.
Okay, fine.
So yeah.
I think that's an easy. It's like an easy number where it's not like overwhelming, but it's also like.
I think that's a fair number. I think I think they're gonna. I guarantee they're gonna make playoffs with that team, especially in the Yasif. He's hiding from this one.
Man, I'm chilling, man. I like the banter going on.
Nah, sir, we want your opinion. You're part of this panel.
I think honestly, I agree with our guy Sportstein on this one. I think that Hawks team is going to be solid. I think all they really have to do is find a way to get some stops. But like he was saying, that Nets team didn't get a stop all season, and they got to the second round of the playoffs.
Like draft anybody confident. Draft anybody confident at lock or power forward, and you'll win a ton of games.
They have 2 high second-round picks, so the possibility is there, but they have to hit on picks.
Just don't fuck this up. Like, really, don't fuck this up.
Do you draft somebody to possibly, listen, do we trust Mike Swan as a lockdown? That's the underlying question I need to ask all of you guys.
They trusted Mike Swan enough to retain him?
Nah, I'm putting him at lock.
Okay.
I'm drafting a power forward. I'm definitely going to find somebody who can play next to Hotshot. Somebody's going to fall into the second round. Like, yeah. Please don't mess this up, Hawks. You may never get another chance like this.
You think about it, too. They have, especially the way the game is moving now, where people are playing a lot more rotations. You don't have to sit there and stay in front of your man the entire time. You can rotate, but that's why you definitely need a good power forward on the back end. So this way, they're able to play PNR well with Mike Swan. They're able to rotate where Hotshot's able to rotate down. It's not that much of an issue. If you watch the Heat last year, they were predetermining rotations a lot. People were being super aggressive. Their rotations weren't very crisp. But if the Hawks are able to mitigate some of that issue going in and, helping Hotshot so he's not pre-rotating and just dropping on everything, I think that this team could be good, but it's really up to their defense.
Yeah.
It's going to be look, Famous couldn't crack the Hotshot defensive puzzle in 3 seasons, right? Like he drafted a lock really high in the draft to see if that would fix it. It didn't. And we have to be very frank that at this point, Hotshot's defensive negatives are a legitimate liability, or at least they have in the past 2 years. He was pretty good season 2.
Even the power forward spot, the Heat never really had
they did not help him out. So if I'm the Hawks,
the Heat had to leave for half the season, and that kind of screwed them up because that was their win streak.
And then Juan did Juan things.
Juan did the Juan stuff.
We don't talk about Juan.
We don't want to talk about Juan. No, I'm gonna be real. If I'm the Hawks, man,
That was funny.
If I'm the Hawks, I take Big Perm. Fuck it.
Big Perm.
Take Big Perm. Just put him next to Hot Shot.
Bro, Big Perm in Atlanta would be
Just
lit.
fucking do it. Like, just fucking do it. He's a dog. Just do it. Like, just put somebody down. It's like, who fucking cares about chemistry? Who fucking cares about, like, who's friends with who? Like, I don't even know if Hot Shot and Big Perm have ever spoken to each other. I don't care. At some point, you just need to know about the sticks, right? You just gotta be able to, you just gotta have thumbs. And they gotta draft talent.
This is speaking from somebody who's been on just looking at talent and not actually having to deal with it, because that shit matters, Harris. You say that
it does, but like, goddamn, dude, at some point, if you just keep drafting people who are cool with each other, you might never actually win anything.
But also, guess what? When you don't have a 6-man to bench somebody who's being
but you're also drafting Big Perm. It's not like you're drafting some fucking asshole.
True,
you're drafting like a good dude who's like mature and older. Like,
Perm's an asshole.
No, I love Perm.
But that's my point. Like, just draft a pro. Like, don't draft like some big swing like question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a safe pick.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is Maelo is an amazing judge of character. And if there's anybody who's going to be able to find the right people to fit into that system, it's going to be him. So trust him. And DJ on God, yes, the Hawks need a shooting guard.
They really do. The thing is, there's not that much pressure at the 2, though.
Mm-hmm.
You can damn near slide anybody in there.
Yeah, they're gonna get somebody interesting
right there. Like,
I feel like Jiden for the Hawks might be a good one.
Jiden would be a fun one.
It's going to be a tough. I mean, I think the Hawks will be fine regardless of what they do. I think that's the biggest thing is going to be C's for them. I think C's is just going to have an MVP year. I think he's going to have a crazy year. But
Gonna have to.
I mean, that's the only way they're going to. I honestly think he has to have like the type of year that Batch did last year for the Blazers to make the playoffs, because like the thing is the Blazers had defense, so that was nice for them. But like honestly, like you said, like a chalk year. He has to have a chalk year where like he is one of the top 5 guards in the league, and he's got to really push that team to playoffs, because I don't care who you get in this draft. I don't think it matters necessarily who they get in the draft. I don't think at this point, like they have the power positions. Like, obviously a power forward is going to be important for their defense. If they can get a really good power forward in the second round, and you guys obviously see how the draft is going. I'm sure if you guys have done private mocks, you're starting to see that a good power forward could drop in the second round. Like, it really could happen.
There will. There are 15. There are 15 power forwards, I believe, that are needed. 14, 15 this year. Yeah, obviously, 15 power forwards are not going to be drafted in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you will have your choice. Granted, it might not be like the top 5, but you'll have access to the top 10. So you'll have your choice of power forward.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really about who do you think is the best fit for your team.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but
I'm taking the best power forward available.
So
get me the talent.
Well, talking about we talked about Hot Shot on the side of the trade. Can we talk about the Heat? The Heat are, have been the most active in this offseason, with trading. They literally traded away the entire team except Sav. That.
Not gonna lie, if somebody probably wanted Sav's ass, they probably would have traded him too.
No.
Is that,
I don't think.
You don't think so? You don't think that's the case?
No, I don't think Sav was available.
Shit.
I don't think so.
I feel like
everybody's available for that boy.
Yeah, I feel like look.
I mean, if you're gonna give number 1 overall, maybe, but I don't think Famous was out there looking to move Sav. I think at some point, if you're Famous, you gotta keep Sav. I mean, he's all you got. You need an elite point guard in this league. And I'm not saying that Sav is the best of the best. He's obviously extremely streaky. But at the same time, you need his upside on the team just to have any relevant chance. What would you rather have? All right, let's say they do trade Sav, and then they still get Beast Move. It's all right, cool. Now you have Beast Move in 4 empty slots. I don't know. That just doesn't really do much for me. Now at least I have Sav and Beast Move, and I just need to draft the front court, and I have 2 firsts. It works a little better.
I just think that you literally just, J Money Beast Move. The meme where it's just somebody looking at his eyes and then they check it because you see J Money Beast Move, you rub your eyes, Sav Beast Move. Same fucking shit.
That's interesting.
It's just, Sav is less of a passer, more ball dominant. So to see what they're going to be able, granted, it's going to help Sav a lot. Beast Move's gravity and just having him around, people are going to have to think about him. They're going to have to switch off. It's going to allow Sav to be able to score more but he has to be able to balance it so he's not shooting the lights out, becoming a Chuck, and really hurting his team.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting for the Heat because they got to make some big picks, right? They got to replace Hot Shot. I mean, right now it's looking like they're going to it looks like rain. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's going to be a little rainy in Miami, but I don't know. But
Miami.
Yeah. But, I mean, listen, I think that for the Heat, like, they've made crazy moves, like, big moves. They traded away their champion, their former, like, not championship center, but like the center that basically brought them to that point, to the title. And then they traded away Shifty, who, I mean, you can argue Shifty was like a top lock in the league, and now you gave him to the other team, like the worst team to give him to, the T-Wolves. Like, now Bears' ego is going to be out the fucking woo-ha. Like, if they're even better than last year, you'll never hear the end of it from Bear and them and the T-Wolves. It's like, come on. But
yeah, shit. You think nah? The one I'm worried about the most is Nick.
What happened last time you traded somebody? What happened last time you traded somebody to the T-Wolves?
Oh my god, they won a championship. So,
Sheesh. Look, again, the one I'm worried. You don't have to worry about Bear's ego. I think Bear's ego is going to be mild compared to Nick's. So you don't want to hear that man talk. Don't let him win.
Nick got the easiest job in the league right now.
No. He's got a lot of pressure on him this year. This win now.
oh yeah, they gotta win a title.
Nick's got it.
You gotta win a title, man. It's that simple.
You're too busy sipping.
Jeez. Hey. Yeah, I can't even speak on that one. Nick was down bad on the timeline, bro.
Good stuff. Nah. But anyway, we're gonna transition into the last topic. This last topic is what's more likely to happen? Okay. So obviously you guys know the championship 2K League team in 2018, Knicks Gaming. So we have potential for a possibility for the Knicks to actually all those former players. Obviously, you guys know Nate just retired, but we have a possibility that all of them are out of the league this year. Obviously, I mean, that's every year in a way, but like this is the first year that obviously Goofy's not on a roster now. Yay, obviously, he's kind of just, went to the analyst area. Nate's kind of moving on. I know that Idris is still going for it, and Goofy. Those are about the only two. Adam also retired. So it's like you have two people left on this. What's more likely to happen? That all the Knicks Gaming players are out of the league after this season, or during this draft, or is it more likely for C's to win MVP?
What?
Yeah,
that's a weird.
This is a bad. This is a good question, champ. Come on, look. Idris is getting drafted. There's 15 power forwards that need to be picked. Idris is one of them. And to think about C's, he could be an MVP favorite. But
C's MVP odds are probably like 25 to 1.
Okay,
I'd probably say 25 to 1.
So is it more likely for the Knicks to all be out of the league, or is it more likely for C?
I mean, of course it's more likely for the Knicks to be out of the league. That's just a numbers thing.
Okay,
there's a lot of good players in the league. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's kind of weird when it comes to this whole Goofy thing and if he's going to get drafted. It's like, if this was season 3 and GMs were still operating under the same mindset of like how GMs were thinking in season 3, then Goofy's definitely going to get picked, right? But you have a lot of new blood in these front offices that I'm not sure are going to swing on somebody more historical with a big name versus somebody who on the, in the draft process is considered better or younger, right? Like, look at the teams that even need centers. A lot of them have like new blood in the front office. I don't know if those are going to be the teams that bring Goofy back. I think the Hornets might be Goofy's best chance right now, since Big West is kind of an old-fashioned guy. But at the same time, like, they have Crown, and I don't know if you want to pair them two together. So it's like, what is his best fit? Like, we're just kind of running out of spots.
Oh, let me switch this up. What's more likely to happen? BP to go undrafted, or for all the Knicks gaming players to go undrafted?
I think it's more likely that Knicks players go undrafted. I think it's way more likely that BP gets picked.
Somebody's gonna take a shot. He's waiting.
Somebody's definitely got to. He's
later, but
especially with the Hornets getting their first round pick back.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me feels like that means that he's more likely to get picked.
Really? Like, I feel like what's scary about I think with the Hornets getting that first round pick, it's scary. I feel like it's scary for a lot of point guards, like, because if you, like, at the end of the first, it's kind of like a death sentence at that point, because there's one pick left for you. I mean, you could try it, someone could squeeze you at shooting guard if you've been like an unguardable type guy, but like, I was telling this to BP last night on stream, like, if you're like in the situation where after the first round, you already know you're in trouble. Like, it's a dangerous situation after the first round for point guards.
It's all about interviews this year. I think for these point guards, I think I don't think the talent difference is enough to where like any of these guys are considerably better than the others. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you have like a pretty clear top tier, you have a pretty clear middle tier, and a pretty clear lower tier. Like, I think those are pretty clear at this point. Mm-hmm. It just depends on what interviews put you in what tier. And for BP, talent-wise, he's definitely in that top tier, but his interviews and a potential connection he makes with a franchise is going to mean even more than his talent. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good young point guards this year, and a lot of these young point guards I'm hearing about, man, a lot of them are interviewing really well.
All right, are we all in agreement that the greatest like PG class was season 3? I just want to know, was that the greatest PG class that had like Jack, like Red, Splash, there was a bunch of people, shit. I mean,
Sav was in there, right?
I mean,
Kai, technically, like.
Yeah, but like,
if Doc was in the league, it's probably a definitive yes. Yeah. But I feel like season 1 still puts up a fight.
I mean, season 1 had 102 picks.
Yeah.
Of course, like, I mean, what's the hobby line? Like, even a trash can gets a steak once in a while. Like,
okay, season 2 had a ton of picks too. They've all had a lot of picks. There've been over 60 picks. There have been over 60 picks in each draft. We've had like an average of like 6 to 7 new point guards every single year.
Harris, you mean to tell me that, look, come on, you're a numbers guy. You mean to tell me that 102 chances is not better than, what, like 40-something? 50-something?
Well, obviously you're going to have more likely of a better class, but it's also been 5 years. And if you look at the point guards who are still here from season 1, you can put them up against any of these classes.
But if you also look at the amount of point guards that were drafted in season 1,
well, yeah, you're going to have the maximum amount drafted because there wasn't a league. But at the same time, you have to look at the players who have survived.
But I also have to say, though, like, you know, you look at the season 3, you had Jack, you have Duck, you have Splash, you have Chalk, you have Reg, you have Kai. I mean, I don't know if you Bash. Like, there's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of point guards in that class compared to, like, I go over to the season 1 class. Like, and obviously longevity is more respected, but like, all right. I mean, you got Fab, you got Radiant. Those are the only 2 point guards that are left that are still playing point guard, and and that's the first round. Those are first round point guards. Like, no one else is playing. Like, Dinos doesn't play point guard anymore. Compete's not a point guard anymore. JT.
Mama's still there.
Oh yeah,
Mama's still there. But what? So Radiant, Mama,
Fab.
That's it.
Those 3 of the best guards in the league.
But yeah, you also look at that compared to season 3, where now you have. Granted, we can take away Kai because he's on the 2-guard thing now. All right, boom. You still have Splash, who's arguably one of the best guards in the league. You have Reg, who's a former rookie of the year. You have Duck, who's the most improved player. He showed leaps and bounds. Like Jack, who's fucking like Captain America. Like, granted, yes, he retired, but you could say the same thing with Chalk. Like, Chalk was still an amazing point guard when he was in the league. So you have to give respect to season 3 more. I think people just always look at season 1 like, oh my god, season 1's always going to be, yeah, obviously, because it's going to have the most people picked.
Yeah, but they've also gone through the most filters of guys who have been dropped away from their draft class. We've only gone through 2 filters from season 3, and not to mention they're about to lose 2 of the 3 best point guards from the whole class. I mean, you take away JBM and Chalk from that class, it's not nearly as pretty anymore, is it?
Yeah, I mean, that's anything. That's like a rating.
And then you can all of a sudden argue that maybe Season 2 is better.
Season 2 Season 2 is the worst class ever. I don't care what anyone says. It's the worst class ever.
From a point guard perspective?
What?
Yeah.
How?
30? What? Come on, champ. Hold on.
No, Season 2. Season 2.
Yes, from a point guard
From
perspective.
a point guard spot? Come on, bro.
What do you mean? It's the worst. That's the worst one. Like that's.
Charlie, Vandy, Sherm, fucking Reezy, Bear. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing guard class.
Yeah.
The rest of the class was pretty bad, but
you named 4 guards for me. Like I got.
Yeah, I mean, we've named 4. We named 3. I mean, then there's a bunch of guards taken in Season 4 and Season 3. Like, obviously, there's going to be the least amount of players from Season 1 and Season 2.
Like, literally, a draft class that only had 42 picks has way more depth. The Season 3 draft has way more point guards. Like, obviously, Snubby was like a PG/shooting guard, but Snubby had a good year his first year when he played guard. Bash has been good for 2 years. Reg was a rookie of the year. Splash, obviously, he's been fucking Splash. You have Chalk and Jack, obviously.
Yeah, they're gone.
And
so if you're gonna take away
Sherm's
points
gone.
from other
Sherm's
classes because
gone.
their point guards are gone, then you got to take away
Sherm's
from
gone.
them being gone.
Okay, Sherm's gone.
Well, I was also taken 4th overall in this draft class.
Yeah, and
Not every single draft class is like the best of all time. I think they're all very unique in their own way. Like, to say that one is better than the other is to kind of ignore like the context of each draft, and to say that like in Season 3, right, we had 2 brand new teams in the top 6 who both needed new point guards. Obviously, in Season 1, we were never going to get anything like that with that kind of context. And not to mention that expansion team at number 6 took the worst player in the history of their, well, not the history of their team, but that's the worst draft pick they ever made, was the 6th overall pick.
I mean, shit, if you think about the amount of first overall picks that they've had, okay, like, that's a really good percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's, I think they're all very unique in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one to me that is better than the other. We're like, oh, this one had more talent in it than the other one. It's like, kind of, I guess, but like every single year, like, we're seeing a lot of dudes that get drafted at the top who are just getting filtered out of the league over and over and over again every single draft. So, obviously, the longer you're in the league, the more likely you are to be kicked out of the league.
So if you guys were to make a prediction, and I know you said, Harris, that you're not really about like trying to say one class is better than the other, but like we're like at the end of and this is like your bold prediction before the draft. Where do you think after a year after, like, let's say we're going into Season 6 after this draft class, like where does this draft class stand? Like that's coming in right now. Like, is it going to be one of the better ones? Is it going to be one of the worst ones? Because it seems like a lot of people are kind of oh, it just gets worse and worse as we go. Like, what is your thoughts on that? And like, where do you think this draft class that's coming in right now is going to rank among all draft classes?
I think it's way too soon to tell.
But that's why this is a hot take. It's a bold prediction.
I think contextually, this draft is probably the most important draft from a bad team perspective, because there are so many good teams this year. And I feel like if you go back in some of the drafts, I feel like this, I don't know, this might be a hot take. I feel like we have more good teams going into this season than we've ever had. And the bad teams are really, really consolidated in terms of it's the Bucks who have 3 first-round picks. It's the Heat who have 2 first-round picks. It's the Mavs who are desperate for another first-round pick. So it's very consolidated this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like what this draft is really going to be is kind of like which really good and smart team can flex their muscles and get the best player. Like which team is, which really smart, already good team is going to come out of this with an advantage? Because I think the bad teams, I think the Bucks are going to have to pull off a miracle to end up being as good as the Warriors, right? So if you're the Warriors and you already have that institutional strength, that first round pick is as valuable as any pick that they've ever made. So this draft is a really, really interesting context to it in the Western Conference. And then for the East, I mean, one draft pick could change the entire conference. It's wide open.
I'm just saying now, because of everything shifting, you could potentially see the Warriors trade back.
I would be surprised unless they get a future first.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if it'd be smart for any team to trade a future first for the 19th pick in the first round.
Yeah.
That's tough from a value perspective.
Sometimes people want to jump in front of somebody to get something.
Like maybe the Nets. The Nets are the only team I think would be that desperate, but I don't know if OG is that desperate.
I don't think he is. I personally think that OG is just gonna, stay patient. There's nothing he can really do. Like if you're gonna go, you're better off just, biting the bullet and just going with it. But like, if they sell their future to get, move up in the draft for a late pick, it's just, I don't know. That's tough. But I mean, go ahead.
Sorry, somebody kind of hit the nail on the head with this. You want to talk about selling the freaking bag, dropping the ball with this? I know somebody mentioned in the chat. Dukes had a chance to draft Antoine. They had a chance to draft Cooks. They had a chance to draft a plethora of other players. But they wound up coming out of the expansion draft with Mario, Killy, and Beezus.
And now they have Bash, obviously.
Yeah, and now they traded the first, because let's be fair, if Antoine was in this draft, where would he go?
He's probably a lottery pick the way he's playing.
Bro, arguably the number one overall pick. So now, where you have teams probably trying to trade picks for this. So now, you could have had Bash. You could have still had the 4th overall pick or whatever top lottery pick. You still have an early first. You're able to still fully construct your roster, still be able to draft Mario, do whatever you need to do. But unfortunately, they just, I guess they had their vision. They wanted to go with it. They weren't looking at the assets in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the hardest thing about it, though. It's like building, now I feel like future firsts are becoming more and more valuable. The fact that you use it as a tool to bring back 4 players, and now that a lot of teams are kind of deeper in the league and are better, it's like future firsts are so much more valuable now, especially for if I'm an org that is gonna do well this year. I feel like you gotta make sure you hold on to a first. You know what I mean? Or get an extra first so you have a first next year. A lot of people don't want to build for the future though in this league either though. A lot of obviously players don't want to care about the future for an org because they might not be there next year. But but a lot of these orgs there's the Warriors have been very good at just building future. This is the first time I think the Warriors don't have a future first come besides obviously their own first, but they don't have extra firsts coming in the next year, and there's not really anything they can do to change that. I don't know. I mean, unless you guys.
Again, that's what I'm saying. You could see them potentially look to trade back to garner an additional future first, so that they still have whatever. Mm-hmm. Look, let's be fair. We know with their team, they're the type to get ahead of assets. So they'll look to trade a player that they know they're not going to be able to get back, because at least you get some sort of value for them instead of just letting them walk for free. That's why and people have to realize that.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But is there anything? I think that we've been on here for an hour and a half. We've had some great conversations. Obviously, mixing some things up, talking about the draft. Is there anything that you guys remarks you guys want to talk about the draft? Some thoughts. I'm sure we could sit here for days and talk about this draft. But Joe, is there anything you got to say about the draft? Coming up, obviously, anything I know Joe's always got something slick to say.
Nah, I'm just excited to see what happens, what trades happen now with all of the moves. We still have 3 weeks left before the draft, so it's gonna get fun. Get my popcorn ready.
What about you, Harris? Actually, you know what? I'll save Harris for last. Yay!
Oh,
yay! Any kind of final remarks you want to say about the draft? Anything, any hot takes you got? Anything that you got left, before we kind of sign off here?
I do have a quick question. What's the likelihood that the Mavs trade that first pick?
I feel high. I feel like it's high.
Yeah, almost close to 100%. They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying.
They're definitely pushing
Yeah.
that the number one overall.
Please do not. Okay, champ, do not say it. Don't follow up with it, please.
Oh,
I was about to say, is it?
Yep.
uh,
No. I just had to cut people off before they even tried it.
okay. Because I was talking the other day, and I was like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Gallo goes number one. But then I was told that the Mavs might trade that pick. So now it really depends who's going there.
Because you have to, if you think you're the Mavs, like look at it. You have to target the teams that have multiple firsts this year. So you're looking at Gen G, you're looking at the Magic, you're looking at the Bucks. You're trying to recoup as many assets as possible without falling too far out of the lottery. So you have to look at those three teams as their main targets, unless there's a player that they can get from another team to package with their first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, definitely going to be some moves. So, there's a lot that's going to happen. I think a lot's going to happen on draft day. There'll definitely be a crazy draft day. I think a lot of teams are going to be making crazy trades, and it's going to be insane. But
yeah, champ. Yeah, what's up with the inside info? The chat's asking. What you
I
got for it?
don't have inside info.
Yeah, bro. Whoo.
Tell you right now that the
I
trade.
wonder who with the Mavs.
I can't wait.
Jeff is trading Hoodie Dre.
Anyway, Harris, any final things you have to say about the draft? Any type of hot takes, anything, any final remarks?
I don't know. I don't think so. Joe, do I have any hot takes?
I mean, I don't mind reader. I don't think so. Not anything you haven't already said.
I think I'm okay.
You think you're okay? You're gonna save it.
Yeah. Do you know what? No. How about this? I think the Nets should get a free first round pick.
There you go. Hot.
If we're really just gonna give the Hornets their first back, I think we should give the Nets their first back.
The Nets
Don't
didn't have a first this year. They traded it.
And the Hornets chose to give their up to retain a player.
Yeah.
Sounds like both should get a first round pick back.
Nope.
What is going on? All right.
If we're in the world of giving out first round picks to teams that probably don't deserve them but desperately want them / need them.
Ooh.
Jay Witt, they're not trading 1 and 6 for 5 and 13.
That'd be a terrible trade.
Blazers now that they have it.
That's a great trade. What are you talking about?
No, because Bread's playing a.
That's an outstanding trade. No, you're crazy. That's a great trade. I'd do that trade.
Crazy.
I don't.
He said that's why you in section 300.
400.
It's 400. 400 to you, sir. It's 400 to you, sir.
Damn, I brought you closer to the floor.
301. Yeah, you have to. There are mocks out there with Trey not going to the Celtics. You just have to watch non-champ mocks.
I literally sent Cook Iverson to the Celtics in my last mock draft.
Oh my god, bro.
A fall all the way to 9.
Champ is the only one who keeps mocking the same people over and over and over again to the same positions.
Oh, really? Because this one's the same.
Yeah.
You got DJ going to the Sixers in like 70 of your mocks.
Yeah.
You have ant season going 6.
Oh, Wes is saying I'm being disrespectful. Wes, look,
Come on
sometimes
down.
Sometimes you make decisions.
Here, Wes, I got you.
You get gifted them.
Look, shit. Listen here, Harris. Stop.
Here,
I'm not. I don't want to get into some tiff.
No.
Argue for wings, bro. Do it for the wings.
Nah, I'm not getting into it. It's too late.
Indianapolis, Coach West.
See, he's gonna jump in here, and then I'm gonna instantly jump out. It's gonna be so fast. You've never seen anything this fast. You've never seen anything this fast.
Oh my god. No. Listen. I as much as I want to say, it was definitely a unique circumstance for the Hornets. It's definitely interesting. Definitely, the rules have officially completely changed for the 2K League. It's I'm sure a lot of teams are still calling Brad saying what the fuck, why is this happening? But anyway, we're gonna actually close up this. We're gonna close up this stream because I think it's been a good stream. I had an awesome time talking to my boys. I love Harris. I love Joe. I love Ye. All of you guys keep doing your thing. I know Harris. He's gonna keep making his content. Someone needs to hire this guy, TheeJoeVegas. This guy, I swear, he watches too much film. I see this guy sitting in Discord with Fox, and they're watching like 10 hours of film. So I don't know. These guys are like the 2K League nerds. And then Ye, I haven't seen you make all those lists, man. I've been watching you make all those lists.
Yeah, we're getting Ye content, baby. It's great.
Happy.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back.
I'm back.
Hey, wait for this mock I got coming. This is gonna be a
Ye mock. Whoa, no.
It's gonna be a mock premiere.
A mock premiere?
A mock premiere on YouTube? Okay.
On Twitch and YouTube.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. I like it.
Thank God. I'm so happy another person is doing something.
Ooh.
But
where's Shaker?
That's a good.
Yeah, roasted into retirement.
That's tough, bro.
Maybe we'll,
I
hope, still holding out hope for time to cook number 2 overall.
Maybe we'll get a new up and coming content creator. Okay, guys. Maybe someone new will come up out of nowhere and start doing content.
It's gonna be Champ using a voice modulator.
Yeah, it's gonna be Champ's lesser brother, Chump. Chump.
That Chump guy knows a lot, man.
Dude. I was trying to come up with a name, but I think Chump was probably better than anything I could have come up with. That was good. That was well done.
Oh man, I'm so proud of you guys. Anyway, listen, we're gonna sign off here. I appreciate all you guys coming on. Like I said, I'm gonna try to come up with better topics next week, or whenever I do this again. But I do appreciate all you guys kind of being last minute, jumping on here, talking. It's kicking it. But, I'm excited for the draft. I'm excited for the future of content from all these guys. And, best wishes to everybody. Like I said, everybody have a good night and tell someone you love them.
What I can, what I can't do. Looking at them like I don't